1981, Nandkishore Swami was traveling with Mahant Swami Maharaj from Saranpur to Bochasan for the Guru Purnima festival. Nandkishore Swami felt extremely fortunate to be taken in the car alongside Swamishri. Initially, Mahant Swami talked a lot about satsang. Then, as they neared Danduka, the sun began to set. The skies became splashed with the golden rusty colors of dusk. Swamishri was in the front. Yogi Charan Swami, Sant Swarup Swami, and Nandkishore Swami were in the back. Turning around slightly, Swamishri looked at Nandkishore Swami and said, "Do you know the Godi?" "Yes," Nandkishore Swami replied. "Come on then," Swamishri said, "sing." Nandkishore Swami was holding Hare Krishna Maharaj in his lap. As he started off with the jays, Swamishri finished what he wanted to say. "Arti, Ashtak, Godi, wherever you may go, never forget them. It's Maharaj's Agna." Before, the sadhus used to sing all the kirtans off by heart as well. Never needed books. Then we started the Godi. Santa Samagama Kije. In traditional style, with just the right tempo, Swamishri's smooth, melodious voice sang away. Even in a whirlwind of activities, Swamishri has always remained unwavering in his devotion to Sriji Maharaj. The granted Satpurush always serves as our ideal. No matter how busy or preoccupied, they're always connected to God, always naturally engaging in bhakti. Despite this, they continue to guide us on how to steadfastly uphold our Niyam Dharam and daily āhnik. Now let us invite Pujya Shukmani Swami to lead us into a deep dive of Mahant Swami Maharaj's sincere adherence to āhnik in his life. Pujya Shukmani Swami received Diksha in 1981. As a talented musician and speaker, he has often joined Mahant Swami Maharaj on many foreign tours. He did seva in Ahmedabad and London until 2015. He is currently doing seva as a Yuvak Sangeet Vichran Sant in the Southeast region. Pujya Shukmani Swami.
Shri Swaminarayan Bhagavanani Jai, Akshar Purushottam Maharajani Jai, Gunatitananda Swami Maharajani Jai, Guru Hari Pramukh Swami Maharajani Jai, Guru Hari Mahant Swami Maharajani Jai, Pramukh Swami Maharaj Shatabdi Mahotsavni Jai, Akshardham Mahotsavni Jai. This is the fifth part of the six-part Yuva Sabha titled Brahmana Sange. Brahmana Sange means walking along with or taking inspiration from Akshar Brahma himself to become Brahmarup. As you all know that our ultimate goal in life is to become Brahmarup, becoming completely pure, divine, and one with God. And this can only be achieved through the Param Ekantik Sant, who we also call the Satpurush, the Brahma Swarup Guru. And it is he who in fact is the manifest form of Akshar Brahm on earth. On the 29th of July, 1988, beloved Guru Hari Pramukh Swami Maharaj was in Cleveland, and it was the auspicious day of Guru Purnima. Swamishri had gone for a second shower at around 10:30 a.m. Once done, he sat down on the sofa and he started to write letters. After about 10-12 minutes, he looked across the room and he saw Santo doing darshan. So he removed his reading glasses and surprisingly he asked, "Have you all taken blessings on this auspicious day of Guru Purnima?" Now all the Santos began to laugh. And then one of the sadhus, he replied, "Ke Bapa, you've blessed us 3 times already. Firstly, when you woke up this morning. Secondly, after the morning puja. And thirdly, after your breakfast. So how many more times do you want to bless us?" Swami Bapa, with a very sweet smile, he replied, "When the Guru is delighted, he will bless you many times. Come over and take more blessings." So the sadhu, he came close to Bapa. Whilst the other sadhus, they looked on in awe, Swamishri repeatedly blessed the sadhu on his head and his shoulders, and then placing his hands on the sadhu's heart, Swamishri said, "Always remember one thing very clearly. On this path of Kalyan, there is only me and you, nobody else." It's a very powerful statement by Bapa. Let's understand it again. On this path of ultimate Kalyan, there is only me and you and nobody else. Swami Bapa has clearly laid out that a spiritual relationship solely between the Guru and the Shishya needs to be established for ultimate Kalyan, for God realization. This is the essence of all Hindu scriptures and the essence of all Hindu teachings. Even Bhagwan Swaminarayan and our Satpurushis have repeatedly said that the Satpurush is the path, the Satpurush is the means. For ultimate Kalyan, we need the Satpurush. Hence, associating with him, body, mind and soul, and loving him, trusting him, and following him implicitly, that is Brahmana Sange. In the year 2017, whilst in London, beloved Guru Hari Mahant Swami Maharaj expressed his innermost wish to all the Hari Bhakta, young and old, that we should sincerely and devoutly follow the daily āhniks of 2 artis, Vanchan, Ghar Sabha and Cheshta above the daily morning puja āhnik. And for us to remember this, he very kindly wrote in his own words, 2 AVGC. 2A stands for 2 artis, V stands for Vanchan, G stands for Ghar Sabha, and C stands for Cheshta. 2AVGC. Now, me and you are bhaktas of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. So offering bhakti is our duty. The 2AVGC āhniks are tools of bhakti that enhance our love, faith and trust in Bhagwan Swaminarayan and our Gurus. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has expressed his liking for devotion above anything else that we may do very explicitly in Vachanamrut Grada section 1, number 37. He says, "I only like one who offers devotion to God from his heart, and not one who is merely wise or intelligent, or he may be as virtuous as Naradji." Maharaj, he reveals the importance of bhakti very clear through this quotation. Now, you and I were all witness to the splendid and remarkable life of beloved Guru Hari Pramukh Swami Maharaj. We saw how busy he was engaged, he was occupied in multiple different types of sevas throughout the whole day. And that not just for one day, but throughout his whole life. There was never a second of spare time. Yet, he was always focused on his daily āhniks. He never missed it. He never compromised on it. Instead, he gave it top priority. He enjoyed every second of his āhniks. Be it any time, be it anywhere, he would anyhow complete the āhniks. Even during his last days on earth, when Swamishri was terribly ill, very unwell, he insisted on doing Jeshta even at 2:30 a.m. Similarly, today we see Mahant Swami Maharaj's daily life. He too is truly wedded, sincerely and honestly wedded to these āhniks. Once he was asked why he was so persistent in observing the āhniks? And Mahant Swami Maharaj replied, I experience a sense of absolute peace and happiness. This is the sole reason why the Satpurush is leading us on this path of āhniks, of devotion. He wants us to be absolutely happy and attain absolute peace. Whilst Pramukh Swami Maharaj was about to retire for his night sleep in Boston in 1988, he revealed his deepest feelings, and he said that I want all of you to experience the same bliss and happiness and the same joy of Sriji Maharaj that I forever experience. This is my only wish. Again, it makes us feel that we really need to buckle up. We really need to pull up our socks and focus towards devotion. So, if the Satpurush has this inner wish, we should also have an inner wish like him. If we want to experience the same bliss of Sriji Maharaj that Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Mahant Swami Maharaj experience, then we must strive to increase and improve the quality of our āhniks too. We are doing them, but we really need to improve. We really need to increase the quality of these āhniks. So today, we will delve deeper to understand how our beloved Gurus perform their āhniks through some prasangs that primarily focus on 2AVGC. We will also get an insight into the emotions and feelings and sentiments of Mahant Swami Maharaj through the prasangs that will be narrated about him that actually took place. The first is Aarti. Mahant Swami Maharaj puts great emphasis on doing Aarti and Ashtaks at least twice a day. He himself is so eager that he never wants to miss a single Aarti. Mahant Swami Maharaj, he returned to Selvas for the first time in 2013 after its Murti Pratishta. He was a Sadguru Sant at that time. Now the local sadhus had forgotten to tell him that the Mangala Aarti, which is the first of the 5 daily Aartis in a Shikharad Mandir, that the Mangala Aarti starts at 5:45 a.m. Now the next morning at 5:57 a.m., Mahant Swami was hurriedly running towards the Mandir under the impression that the Mangala Aarti was at 6. Like every other BAPS Shikarbad Mandirs, which normally host the Mangala Aarti at 6, here it was at 5:45. But whilst he was running, he saw that the sadhus were coming back from the mandir. So he inquired, is the Mangala Aarti over? And the Santo said, Swami, yes, it's done. Mahant Swami became disheartened and he returned back to his room to complete his puja. After a few moments, the Sevak Sant, he came out of Mahant Swami Maharaj's room and he told all the sadhus waiting outside that Mahant Swami has decided not to have breakfast today. So the local sadhus, they went into the room and apologized and asked for forgiveness that it was their mistake that he had not been informed of the change of timings. And they insisted that at least Swami take something for breakfast. Mahant Swami replied, no, we will eat lunch in 3 hours' time. Is that not okay? The Kothari Sant, his eyes welled up with tears and he requested Mahant Swami to forgive him personally and at least have something for breakfast. After completing his puja, Mahant Swami, he just took a morsel in his hand from the plate, and that too just to please the sadhus. But by that time, a Hari Bhakta arrived in the room, and casually Mahant Swami started speaking with him. And there's this long conversation that occurs. And in doing so, Mahant Swami Maharaj, he puts the morsel back into his pattar. He then says to the sadhus that it was my inner wish that I should fast for the whole day. The reason being that I missed the Mangala Arti. But because all of you are insisting, I will take a little prasad this afternoon. Through this prasang, we see how sincere and how genuine and how insistent Mahant Swami Maharaj is upon himself in doing or attending the Arti. He was prepared to punish himself by fasting for the whole day. Why? Because he was missing the Arti.
કેમ ભગવાનની આજ્ઞા છે અને શ્રીજી મહારાજ અને ગુણાતન સ્વામી અને બધા āhnik કરતા અને એમાં આરતી ને ચેષ્ટા અને આ બધી વાત આવે āhnikમાં. તો આરતી તો મુખ્ય છે. આરતીમાં હવે ઢીલાસ ચૂકી જવાય એટલે તો બહુ મોટો ગુનો કહેવાય. હા તો જાતને જ પનિશ કરે તો જ થાય ને કામ. બીજાને પનિશ કરવામાં શું મારે જાતને જ. અને બીજા બધાને પણ ખબર પડે કે જાતને પનિશ કરીએ. એ તો એવું હતું જ નહીં, પણ જાતે જ પનિશ કર્યું એને ખટકોરે.
Mahant Swami Maharaj just told us that one has to look towards one's own self in order to progress. Now, this can only happen if one has total awareness of who one is and what is personally required of him or of her in this satsang. Brahmana Swami Maharaj, he was in Lisbon in the year 2000. The evening sabha was at the Radha Krishna Mandir. The sabha had ended, the Vyaktigat Darshan had finished. It was 8:40 p.m. and everybody was ready to leave to go back to the Uttaro. Suddenly, a trustee of the mandir, he requested Bapa to do the arti of the newly inaugurated mandir. Bapa lovingly accepted the request and instantly began to walk towards the shrines. The pujari handed over the arti to Bapa, and Swami Bapa devotionally engaged himself in performing the arti. Once the arti ended, Puja Yog Vivek Swami, he came towards Swami Bapa and he was instructed to tell Bapa, who at that time was standing with folded hands engaged in darshan of the murtis. So he was told that he should tell Bapa that it was time for us to leave now because the travel time back to the Uttara was 25 minutes and it was already past his regular dinner hour of 8:30 p.m. Hearing this, Bapa very lovingly leaned himself to the right, offering his right ear to Yogvivek Swami, and he heard him again. And then Swamishri said that, listen, we are sadhus and bhaktas of Shiji Maharaj. We just can't leave like that. We must complete the whole arti and the ashtaks, and then we will leave. And remember, don't worry about me. I'm fine. What is worth noting in this prasang is that this was a Paroksh Mandir with a Paroksh Arti and Paroksh Ashtaks. No one knew even a single line of the Aarti or the Ashtaks. Yet, Swami Bapa stood so sincerely with his hands folded towards the murtis, absolutely unfazed and totally engrossed in the words. It was a phenomenal moment. It had an everlasting message, not just for me, but for everyone present. Do your Aarti and your Ashtaks with quality and with all your heart, even if you don't know them, even if you don't understand them, even if you don't have any time. Just engage and connect with Maharaj and Swami. But don't miss Aarti and Ashtaks and never compromise over them. After listening to these two prasangs, let's ask ourselves, do we attend the daily morning and evening home or mandir aartis with this zeal? If so, how do we engage in the aarti and the ashtaks? Number 2, vanchan. We have elaborated on this topic in previous sabhas, but let's understand this one prasang of Mahant Swami Maharaj to permanently engrave the zeal that he has for daily reading of our Sampradayic scriptures. We were in Dar es Salaam in the year 2019, and it had been a very intense and a very grueling day for Mahant Swami, full of back-to-back important meetings, mulaqats, phone calls, and that too on top of the morning and evening sabhas. It was around 10 past 10 at night, and Mahant Swami Maharaj had completed his cheshta. Now there was nothing more left to do. So because it had been a very long day, everybody wanted him to rest early. And the next day was going to be even more cumbersome for him. But Swamishri had different ideas. He looked at the clock opposite on the wall and he asked for the Purushottam Bolya Prite scripture. A senior sadhu standing close by, seeing this somewhat free time, he requested all the sadhus to leave the room so he could have a private meeting with Swamishri. Swamishri very clearly and emphatically told the senior sadhu, no meetings now, no meetings now. And he sat down on the sofa to read. Mahant Swami, he read past his 10:30 p.m. bedtime. So the Sevak Sant, he went and stopped him, saying that, Swami, it's time to sleep. Swamishri looked at him very annoyed, agitated, and with a spoilt face. And Mahant Swami said, time to sleep? Why sleep? Saying this, he just continued reading very attentively for the next 22 minutes till 10:52 p.m. Everyone present in the room was left speechless and in awe. The passion he showed, the joy he displayed, and the eagerness to read beyond thinking of his bodily needs, that was simply amazing. And it was truly a feeling that Mahant Swami Maharaj was enjoying the company, the presence of Maharaj, the samagam of Maharaj.
પણ સમય ક્યારે મળે છે એ સમય ટાઈમ કાઢ્યો એટલે વંચ્યા. સમય જ મળતો નથી તો દિવસે ક્યારે વાંચવાનો? એટલે સમય અનુકૂળ થયો એટલે વાંચીને.
સુવાનો સમય બગડે તો શું?
શું સુવાનું? બીજા સંતો ઘણી બધી સેવા કરે છે, સુવાનો ટાઈમ વટી જાય છે તો એ કરે છે. તો આપણે આટલું કરવામાં સુવાનું, અને આમાં તો મજા, ખૂબ આનંદ આવે.
A true fact is that Mahant Swami Maharaj himself is the living scripture. We sing the line, Vachana Swamiji nu shirase hun dharu, panchamo Veda pramanu. In the bhajan, Ekaj Asha che Ajiva Tarani, Pramukha Swami ma Khovau. The line, Panchamo Veda pramanu, that the Satpurush is certainly the fifth Veda. He doesn't need to read at all, yet he spends quality time to read the scriptures with utmost concentration, with full attention on a daily basis. And as Mahant Swami Maharaj says, that he finds tremendous happiness and bliss in reading. Again, the message is clear. This is the same passion and the same eagerness that we all need to cultivate in our lives, and we should read the Vachnamrut, the Shikshapatri, the Swamini Vato, and the other Sampradayic scriptures with the same zeal. Let's be totally honest and let's ask ourselves, is 15 minutes a day of quality scriptural reading really a big ask? It's not. Then we should read. Number 3, Ghar Sabha. Beloved Guru Hari Pramukh Swami Maharaj has given the entire BAPS family an agna to conduct a 15 to 20 minute Ghar Sabha every day. He emphasized the need, saying, Ghar Sabha is a unique panacea for all our frustrations and difficulties and miseries and illnesses. And he went on to say that this Ghar Sabha will bring happiness, peace and harmony beyond belief. You and I know very well that Ghar Sabha has great benefits. Yet there is this subtle hesitation in the back of our minds in following this agna of Bapa and of Mahant Swami as well. Pramukh Swami Maharaj said that it should be done every day. But Mahant Swami Maharaj, understanding our mindsets and our weaknesses, he gave us a concession saying, Swami Bapa's agna is to do Ghar Sabha every day. Everyone should do so. But for those who cannot genuinely do Ghar Sabha every day, Mahant Swami says, they should do it at least once or twice a week, with an honest desire to move towards doing it every day. Mahant Swami Maharaj, as we said, very tied up with so many activities and duties through the day. He himself insists on attending sabhas, as well as doing sabhas and kathavarta every day. When Mahant Swami was in Atlanta in 2017, and it was the day that we celebrated the 10th anniversary of the Atlanta Mandir. And in all honesty, the whole day was packed with numerous events. So as per the global directions and guidelines set for Mahant Swami's Vichran, his morning Ashirvad, which usually happened after his morning puja, were cancelled for that day. As Swamishri completed his morning puja and the saying of Jai Saran to everybody, the Sevak Santo, they walked up to him to tell him that, Swami, there is no sabha this morning. It's your rest day, plus you will be delivering your Ashirvad during the finale of the 10th year celebrations this evening in the Mandir ground. Mahant Swami, with a very annoyed look, very upset, adamantly said, there should be a sabha now. Think, it is the 10th anniversary of the Mandir. Thousands of Hari Bhaktas are here and no sabha. Understanding Swamishri's deep wish, the Santos quickly arranged for him to speak. Mahant Swami Maharaj, he spoke for 25 minutes. Everybody was very, very happy. On departure off the stage, the Sant responsible for the daily stage programs, he came along and with folded hands clarified the issue, saying that, Swami, we hadn't purposely kept the sabha this morning, nor your Ashirvad, because it's your day of rest, and we wanted your time and your rest both to be maintained. Swamishri looked at him and very strongly said, remember, nothing is gained if there is no sabha. Just understand, what else is there for me to do? It was a very powerful line. It was a one-liner. It was a one-line reply. But Mahant Swami expressed the innermost liking towards doing sabha, attending sabha, blessing the sabha.
સહજ સ્વભાવ કોઈ ગમે છે અને કરીએ છીએ. શું ભીડ મજા આવે છે ભીડની વાત વાંચવા કથા વાર્તા કરવા આનંદ થાય છે. મહારાજને ગુણાતીત ગુરુ બધાએ જ કર્યું છે. બધા કથા વાર્તા અખંડ કરી છે. આપણે તો એવું કરતા નથી, થોડુંક લબક જબક કરીએ. પણ આપણા શાસ્ત્રીમાં તો રાતના 2 વાગે નાહી 12 વાગે નાહી ધોઈને 12થી 4:30 વાગ્યા સુધી કરે, પછી નાહવા જાય. એટલે આપણે તો કાંઈ કરતા નથી.
Hearing the above prasang of Mahant Swami Maharaj, the sentiments of Pramukh Swami Maharaj also come to mind. He expressed these in Nadiyad in the year 2002. Due to heavy rains, Pramukh Swami Maharaj's morning routine was changed without his knowing. And he was deeply upset, and he was told that he won't be able to go for morning darshan. So Swamishri, he told the sevaks off, and he told them that all of you should listen to me, that Kathavarta, Darshan and Sabha, they are my life. Remember, I cannot live without them. So never stop me from going for darshan or doing or attending sabhas again. Never do that again. We can see that sabha and kathavarta are the life of our gurus. Hence, they give great importance. They push sincerely that we should do the same on a daily basis too. Again, let's reflect and ask ourselves the question, can we not even do a minimum of 15 to 20 minute Ghar Sabha a week? Yes, we should attend the Yuvak Yuvati Sabhas on a regular basis weekly, but Ghar Sabha is also important. Surely we should introspect and take a resolution to doing Ghar Sabha every week. Number 4, Cheshta. Now this is the toughest one of the 4. 30 minutes every day, right? You're right, but you're also wrong. 30 minutes it is, but it is not the toughest. It is easy, very pleasant, very pacifying, and utterly fulfilling if it's done with true mahima. Brahmaswarup Yogiji Maharaj often used to say that Shriji Maharaj himself comes down from Akshardham to be present in Arti, Thad, Sabha and Cheshta. Pramukh Swami Maharaj once said, you will eventually feel and you will also see Maharaj's Murti exactly as described by the Paramahansas in the Cheshta if you do it daily with devotion and understanding its importance. So this is the importance that the Gurus have laid on Cheshta. Just think, not a day has ever gone in the life of Pramukh Swami or even Mahant Swami today, that they have not done cheshta, or have forgotten to do cheshta, or have even compromised the slightest in doing a quality cheshta in their lives. Mahant Swami Maharaj was in Gadara in October 2018. It was the day of the monthly Mundan, and the Sevak Santo had arranged for his Mundan to start directly after his dinner. The reason being that it would take time and it would then also eat into his regular sleeping time of 10:30 p.m. Further still, to save more time, the Sevak Santo approached Swamishri and they said to him that, Swami, it's Mundan today, so let us sing the cheshta whilst doing the Mundan. Swamishri instantly replied, no, no, no. The cheshta should be done properly and with full devotion and dedication, and it should never be done whilst doing other activities. He further added, remember, we must take out our fullest time in doing a heartfelt cheshta. In this way, Mahant Swami completed the cheshta and then began his Mundan at about 10 p.m. Once all was done, he had showered, he retired to bed, and it was 11:55 p.m., nearly an hour and a half over his normal sleeping time.
પહેલેથી જેવું છે ચેષ્ટા તો બીજું કંઈ કરવાની ચેષ્ટા મહારાજનો ગુણગાન બધા આવે છે એમાં અને એ તો ગમે છે. શ્રીજી મહારાજ ચેષ્ટા કરે પૃથ્વી પર આવીને મનુષ્ય દેહ ધરીને આવી ચેષ્ટા કરે અને તો વારંવાર આપણે રિપીટ કરીએ તો ભક્તિભાવ વધે. એકતા ભગવાન સાથે જેમાં આપણે વાત કરીએ છીએ એવી રીતે વાતચીત ભગવાન સાથે થાય એનો આનંદ થાય.
It's remarkable how Swamishri can enjoy the same activity with the same intensity every day. Let's ask ourselves, do we sing the daily cheshta? If not, we should start. If we are, then are we singing the short or the full version? If it is the short version or the speeded up version, then let's persist on doing the actual cheshta, which is about 27 to 28 minutes long. And ask ourselves, are we engaging in cheshta with our heart, with the fullest devotion? Truly we can see how Mahant Swami Maharaj dedicates himself fully in performing the cheshta, the arti, the ashtaks, satsang vanchan, kathavarta, and even attending sabha. He gives them full importance. He spends quality time behind them. In fact, he gives his heart and he gives his soul. Remember, Mahant Swami can see Yogi Bapa and Pramukh Swami Maharaj 24/7, 365. Yet, he spends time. We can see that he not only does them, but he never rushes. He completes them by the end of the day, whatever the time may be. Not like us, we may do them, but to tick the box, or to add a note on the app. Mahant Swami Maharaj, he does it from the very core of his heart. For he knows that Maharaj and the Gurus, they are to be pleased. And it is their Rajipo and it is their blessings that he continuously, every second, he seeks for. We too must resolve to perform our āhniks like Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Mahant Swami Maharaj, mind, heart and soul. The reason being that if we do with our heart, with all devotion, with fullest dedication, then we will experience a joy beyond words. Now this may all seem very difficult and simply impossible to do as a yuak or yuvati because you shoulder so many responsibilities. In your lives you have your work, you have home, you have satsang, and all that is coupled with your huge ambitious career goals as well. So time is short, but we all know that the words difficult and impossible, they never existed in the lives of Maharaj or our gurus. On the 20th of August 1995, when the beautiful London Shikharbad Mandir was to be opened, Pramukh Swami Maharaj was performing his morning puja, and whilst turning his mara, he called for Brahmana Swami, and whispering gently to him, Swamishri said that we have such a beautiful mandir and a beautiful haveli. Yes, we have the name for the London mandir itself on the front, but the name of the haveli is not there. So we should put on the facade of the haveli Sri Swaminarayan Haveli and Cultural Complex. And the reason being is that everyone gets to know that this is the haveli. So before we inaugurate the haveli and open the mandir this morning, and before the public enter, make sure that you have the name written on the facade of the haveli, and make sure that the fonts are beautiful. They are elegant, yet they should be delicate, and they should be readable from far. So many things given in one go. And then ending, Swamishri said that remember, they should match the haveli. So now go and do them, and you have 2 hours to do it. Swami Bapa, after saying that, he just continued doing his mara. But Brahmana Swami was left dumbstruck. After a few thoughts, he came back to Bapa and he said, "Ke Bapa, today is Sunday and all the shops are closed. There's no way that we can get this done in 2 hours, and it's no way that we can get it done today." Swami Bapa, who was looking directly at the murti of Sri Hari Krishna Maharaj while turning the mara, Swamishri said one line, "Dhanat hoi to thai." Dhanat hoi to thai. Meaning, if you have the intent, then you will be able to do it. Brahmana Swami, he staggered off the stage, thinking how on earth was he going to complete this rather impossible task. So he rounded up a few yuaks in the office, and they printed huge single letters on white A4 pages with black beveled fonts which read out Sri Swaminarayan Haveli and Cultural Complex. They all then went to the front of the Haveli entrance, and with an A ladder they started to stick these letters on the wall with blue tack. And truly it was the most unaligned, the most undignified and the most ugliest scene you could ever see on a Haveli that had cost millions and millions of pounds. Even Brahmana Swami, he felt very disgusted that this cheap and flimsy look was not at all pleasant. Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he completed the Mandir Pratishta, then he came downstairs and he opened the Haveli, and then he was about to leave to go to the main festival grounds for the main Sabha. So he sat in the car, and at a distance he saw Brahmana Swami. So he asked the driver to stop the car, and he called over Brahmana Swami. Bapa then looked towards the Haveli facade, and with a joyful smile on his face, he then gently placed his hands on Brahmana Swami's head tapping him a few times, again on his shoulder, and expressing so much of joy. And then said to Brahmyari Swami very lovingly, Ke danat che kari. Danat che kari. That you had the intent and you have done it. Friends, Swami Bapa was extremely happy on him. Why? Honestly, there was nothing remarkable that he had done. In fact, the flimsy papers were making the Haveli look ugly. Then why was Swami Bapa so happy on him? If you want to please the Guru, then having a pure intent is the way to please him. Remember, we should not be doing things to please ourselves. We should not be doing things to please the world. If we just do it to please the Guru, he will be thoroughly pleased. For you and me, our Guru's Rajipo is more important than anything in this world. So, when we are journeying closer towards celebrating beloved Guru Hari Pramukh Swami Maharaj's marvelous birth centenary celebrations, and whilst taking inspirations from him and Mahant Swami Maharaj today to improve and increase the quality of our āhniks, we should strongly resolve to do it just for this one single reason. Brahmana Sange, Brahmana Jeva Thaiye. Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan Ni Jai.